What's up guys, Chasing Laveney here with episode number 20 of our Williams Revival series on F1 Manager 22. Today we are in the 2023 season at Baku, round 8 of the 2023 season, and things are looking pretty good. All things considered, we're 4th in the Constructors' Championship. Piastri currently sits in 6th in the Drivers' Championship, and his teammate Théo Pourchaire sits in 13th. So, it's looking okay. Piastri is certainly within striking distance of getting into that top 5, and in teams, it's not out of the question we can get ourselves into the top 3, which would be pretty strong. We're 11 days from Baku, so we've got a little bit of going ahead to do. There should be no new parts coming in for this weekend, so we are going with the same car we went out there with last time. Completed the manufacturing of that front wing we built, which is really good. I'm glad we're going to get a thing about that. I'll check before the race to see if there's any driver upgrades from the simulator, because there's probably going to be a couple of development points available somewhere, and we'll make sure we use those when we need them before the race. We're just going to go ahead now to the race, hopefully see some money coming in from some sponsorship obligations. That'd be quite nice. Obviously, manufacturing, completing on all of our various parts. In fact, next time the game stops, we're going to make sure we have enough of the various parts that we are using to get us through the race weekend, because I am very aware that I have built some stuff to just get us through the last race. Let's just have a little look at the warehouse. See, tells me what's on the car on the right-hand side. Aerodynamic car parts, we've got one rear wing. We probably need to build a couple more of those, and a chassis. That's a good idea. Well, we'll build a rear wing just to make sure we are building. We may already be building one, but you never know. We are already building one. That's fine. How many are we building? It won't tell me. Chassis-wise, we are going to build one of those just to be on the safe side. We'll build one of those just to give us that little bit of spare. Anything else? We're looking short on side pods. We should be okay with 4. Suspension, we should be okay for a weekend with 4, so we should be okay there. We're looking good. Right, in terms of the money side, I know I've not looked at the money side in quite a while. Cost cap is obviously what is important, because we know we have money in the bank. We have just over half of our cost cap left available, so we're not doing too badly in the grand scheme of things. We've got a lot of money left to do some development on the car. That will help us out immensely, of course. Rear wing in low stock. We are working on it, buddy. We're doing our best. Please bear with us. We'll get some more, hopefully, before the next race. When one of these manufacturings completes, we have refurbished our memorabilia room. That was one of the things we did last episode. Our tour centre is in poor condition. Well, refurbish it then, damn it. We want that money from the tour centre. That is important. And everything else looks groovy. So we'll keep going forward. 5 days now to Azerbaijan. We've got some scouting completing. This will be, I assume, the scouting we're doing on potential replacements for Pourchaire, or is it? No, it is a driver scouting for Mr. Isaac Hajar, who probably had a pretty good first opening F2 race this year, given how things were looking at the start of things. In terms of scouting complete is in Delhi and Kushmaini. We'll keep an eye on these. Have a look at Kushmaini's profile, because he impressed me yesterday. Growth potential average. I mean, I would have said he was better than that, but what do I know? Anyway, while we're in this screen, we'll have a look at the dev points just to make sure we're not missing anything super suspicious. We're not. And what was the last thing in the inbox? Was there anything important? Probably not. The race preview. Just reminding us that Charles Leclerc is winning everything right now, which is to be expected, to be honest, with the way things are looking. Right, we are on the morning of the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. We need to go to the race prep, make sure everything is looking groovy. I know the cars are looking fine. Quality targets. We're quite quick in a straight line, and we're quite quick round fast corners. So I'm going to set ourselves a target qualifying position of 8th. With one of our drivers. We'll take that, and of course we're going to reach Q3. I'm not going to say with both of our drivers, because Théo Pourchaire is the unluckiest man in the world. Finishing position though, I'm going to go bold here. I'm going to go big and bold and predictive, and I'm going to say we can get one of our cars in the top 6. I think that's an achievable thing in this race, so we'll hopefully make that stick for the long term. Right, I'm going to come back after qualifying and we'll get ready for the race. So Q3 out of the way, and it's been a bit of a messy one. Very messy one. So Oscar Piastri puts up the 10th fastest time in qualifying, and Théo Pourchaire down in 14th. However, Oscar Piastri has a grid penalty from practice. He also binned it in Q2, so had to get through to Q3 on a extremely damaged gearbox. So he's done okay there, to be fair to him. Changed it for Q3, didn't really improve his fortunes, but he has caused quite a lot of damage to the car, which is nice. Théo Pourchaire down in 14th has no grid penalties, but I am very aware, of course, that grid penalties don't necessarily tell the whole story. Also, it's a very fast track, so I'm thinking what we're going to do, as Crofty is going to tell us about final preps.
Qualifying went well for Williams, as attested by their strong position on the grid. Now it's all about finding that edge for the race itself. We saw a reasonable push from Mercedes in qualifying, and they'll have plenty of opportunities here to achieve a great result. And the race will be taking place under blue skies. That means the team should be able to apply their strategies without any added complications.
Well, whatever happens, it's sure to be a tremendous race day here at the Azerbaijan Grand Prix.
Well, cheers to Crofty and Karoon for their insightful analysis on what's going to happen today. As I was saying before I was so rudely interrupted, we're starting 13th and 14th on the grid. This is a fast track where you can overtake, and I'm thinking this might be a good time to take some engine penalties. Partly because you'll see the gearbox that was in the car was this one. It was 90-something% when I put it in. He just ruined it on that one lap. And I am thinking, do I take a cheeky extra one for him and maybe maximise our chances? But he's also already taken some penalties this year, so maybe he has to suffer in silence a little bit, and we'll just give him the extra push and hope he can do what he needs to do on the fuel instead. That could be a very helpful idea. We'll sort out his actual strategy in a second, just to be on the safe side. You know, there's not chickens and hatching and whatnot. In terms of Pourchaire, though, I think I am going to give him the benefit of some new parts because he hasn't had any yet. I think if we give him the freshest possible everything, he's got the pace in that car to really bring himself through the field. Assuming he can get some good overtakes going, assuming the strategy sits right for him, which is, of course, the biggest of all the question marks. So we'll give him all the extra gubbins power we can. We'll take the pain there, just because I think it's going to help him. We're going to try and get some more fuel in the car, because if he's going to power through the field, he is going to need it. Right now, I'm trying to look at the strategy. A strategy for Baku is often an interesting one, because you can do that mediums to hards, you can do this softs to hards, which is not as effective, I don't think. It doesn't really give you the leeway either to be able to switch onto a set of mediums, be able to switch onto a set of hards if there's a safety car. And this strategy with the two-stop, though it is faster, I think I'd rather use for an early safety car situation. So I think we're going to go with the mediums hard there. And Pourchaire, I think I'll also put on the mediums hard, purely because I do think there is a probability that he is going to get a safety car early on, or he's going to be able to sit out a safety car early on, maybe. You know, historically, this is quite a safety car heavy track. So we're going to go with that strategy for both cars. We're not going to tweak it too much. We're just going to let it kind of ride a little bit as we go to the 5 red lights and see what happens.
It's sunny and bright as the drivers line up on the grid. Here's Williams. They're starting in the bottom half of the grid today, so there's a lot of cars between them and the podium. And looking at the second Williams car, they're in the back half of the pack, so they'll need to work hard if they want a podium finish. The teams are ready to go. This is what you've been waiting for. It's the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. And it's lights out, and away we go.
So 5 red lights are out, and we are underway. We've got Piastri back in 13th, Pourchaire, of course, starting in 20th. And that's the one question mark I had as I saw the grid line up. I thought, oh, there's always something happened at turn 1 or turn 2. And if Porsche gets himself caught up in that, we could be in real trouble. But so far, he's staying out of trouble. He's also staying well out of range of anyone behind him. We're looking like we haven't fully charged our DRS though, so let's put that into overtake because I should have done that before we got underway. That's a good idea. So we'll go overtake mode, give them the chance to get themselves past some cars, and Piastri is using it almost immediately to go straight past Danny Ricciardo and into 12th place. And we should in no time certainly be back up into the top 10, you would think. The Alpines have not looked great this weekend, and the Alpha Tauri have not looked fantastic all season. Piastri will have a look at his overtake in the onboards. Simple pass, nice easy stuff. And we are up into 12th and really already hassling the two cars ahead of us, the Alpha Tauri and the Alpine, who, remember, they could only go single file through the castle section, almost a little bit too late. That could have been very interesting if they tried to go too wide through there. It would not have gone well for any of the three of us. Anyway, we're back into the main sort of twisty technical section with Piastri on the onboard, and he's hopefully going to look for a good pass down the main straight. He's certainly got the power on Vettel and Ocon in a straight line, you would think, so hopefully he'll be able to make a couple of passes coming down the main straight. We'll also hope Porsche can do likewise. He's just taken Magnussen, or he's in a battle with Magnussen. Finally gets himself ahead. We'll take a look at that replay in just a second. Although I have a feeling we're probably going to see a pass on Tsunoda, Albon and Zhou in fairly quick succession. In fact, since Piastri is falling back, let's have a look at Porsche's overtake on Magnussen and see if that translates straight away into a pass on the rest of the Haas cars. He's just got it coming back out into the fast section onto the main highway here. And he's gone, he's done it dirty. So, Porsche now on board. He has got a Haas and two Astons in front of him. None of those cars have been fast. The Astons have been the slowest cars on the grid. You'd expect Tsunoda to be able to get past the two Astons in fairly quick succession, you'd have to say. But Porsche is just kind of a little bit stuck at the moment. We need a good fast exit from this corner. Of course, they are on the softer tyres, which is going to give them a slight advantage in traction. On the Haas at least, the Aston Martin's decided getting any kind of advantage was a waste of time, apparently. But we're doing okay to just stay with them. We do need to get DRS open. As soon as we get DRS open, we'll pass all three of these guys in pretty quick succession. You would imagine we just fly past and get ourselves on the back of Alonso as quickly as we can and keep on trucking. But that is how things look for now. I can't see us making any big passes through the castle. I mean, I've been wrong before, but I can't see us making any big passes into the castle section. Had a little look at Yuki Tsunoda. That was probably better that he pulled out of that than not. I have made that pass on the main F1 game, and it's tricky. You do end up squeaky bum time a little bit. So we're going through the technical back section now, the sort of loopy section of the back. This will bring us onto a main straight. Oh, it's very close. I had conniptions then. I'd love to see an off-board of that if I could, because that was certainly touching, if not clipping. Huge moment for Porsche in the background of just trying to get through into this main straight. It's cost him a bit of time having to do that braking as well. DRS is enabled, which will help us immensely going on to this lap, and I would think Piastri will take advantage of it to get himself ahead of Vettel in fairly quick order, although Ocon might be a bit closer for him to pull in. I'm not sure this straight is quite long enough to get both of them. Getting one of them, though, would at least be a benefit. Going DRS open, maybe we can see Vettel and Ocon both get past. He's going to box himself in here, Piastri. He does need to be behind Vettel as Vettel pulls out, or he's going to find himself in a lot of trouble. He cost himself the pass by not getting himself deep tucked up behind Seb there. And likewise, Porsche still not managing to pass Tsunoda, which is probably ruining his race, if I'm completely honest. He does need to get that pass made very, very soon. Otherwise, it's just going to be curtains. Although we do have that long back straight to come, and I think we're probably going to see a few positions switching and falling in the timing ladder on the left-hand side. Piastri apparently has made an attempt on Vettel and not quite pulled it off. Vettel having a look at Ocon as well. It's a bit of a battle going on there. Let's have a little look off board at this battle, because it could go anywhere. Quite frankly, it's having another little look up the outside, or the inside, sorry, of Vettel, and he's just, nothing is really going to go anywhere at this point. Let's go on to a neutral with Porsche. We're going to need all we can get over the back straight. He's not going to have any trouble staying in the toe of the cars around him. We're going to go on to a neutral with, harvest with those drivers on the ERS, because we should be able to stay in the DRS train for a while at least. We're not going to find ourselves falling too far short. You would hope, I've said it out loud now, but you're going to hope that will be the case. Let's go on board with Porsche. Porsche doesn't have any ERS, and he is dropping back a little bit off Sonoda, which is a bit concerning. You would think once he gets DRS open, he'd start making some inroads to someone. He's going to have a little look down the inside. Going for a long dive here, maybe? That would be a crazy, crazy decision. But he's sort of thought better of it, which is good. Decided to pull out. Always pull out, kids. That is the best advice I can give you. Piastri now still looking at Vettel and not really getting close enough to do any passing. I just want to get a lap of harvest in, and we'll kind of save ourselves up the battery. But we've probably saved all the battery we're going to through this lap. So we'll save it until the end of the lap. We'll go a bit fast forward because I don't think any passes are coming anytime in the near future. We'll just let the harvesting take care of itself a bit, and we'll go to neutral for this lap, and hopefully that will see us through till the end of the race to get ourselves on the back of the cars ahead. Piastri already closing straight back up to Ocon, give him a little touch of ERS, and he's there and he's on it. And this is kind of where we're settling in now for the race. I think we're settling in P12 and P19, although Porsche got to get past Sonoda soon, or he and I are going to have some strong words. It's got to be said, because we shouldn't be stuck behind Alfa Romeo cars. Aston Martin cars. We shouldn't be stuck behind Aston Martin cars for this long. It's almost embarrassing that we are, and it's Sonoda really stopping us making those passes, because you can't help thinking if he wasn't there, we'd have gone by now. But obviously, that's that extra moving part in the equation that we don't want to have to take care of. But we are getting ourselves back up closer and closer. We will get ourselves into further DRS range at the end of this straight, you would think. It's going to be okay. I'm going to go double speed, because otherwise we're going to have the longest episode we've ever had, which we don't really like having super long episodes. I'm trying to keep them at least under an hour, and it's not been going terribly well of late, as you will have noticed. But we are under DRS now, and we are trying to make a pass. Piastri is not making a pass on Ocon, it looks like, and we're not making a pass on Sonoda, and we're kind of stuck in no man's land with brand new toys under us, and I don't like this at all. I don't think that is productive or helpful. So maybe I've got to do a bit more ERS management than I normally would. I don't normally do anything super interfering. I just let the drivers get on with it, but time is ticking away. It's costing us points. Another really close moment for Porsche and Sonoda. That's terrifying. We are going to have to start looking like we want to get past. Let's get PS3 wound up for a pass. We'll see if he can make the pass this time. We're going to have to really risk it though and go full deploy coming out of this final turn for Porsche, because he needs to just get a move on. Really, at this point, there's no excuse for us being stuck behind these cars with DRS. We're just going to have to push and go for it coming out onto the main straight now. Come on, let's get ourselves DRS open. We should be able to get ourselves somewhere tucked up nicely. Let's go to overtake, because he needs to get the message that overtake is what we need to do here. Push, push, push. Why are we still stuck behind this Haas? It shouldn't be that much faster than us in a straight line. Come on, guys. Why are we doing this so badly? We'll go back to neutral, and we'll keep harvesting as much as we can on the lap. We are pulling up behind this Porsche. Going to get another look here. Let's go overtake again. Give him that little bit more. Come on, give it a push, buddy. Give it a push. You should have this. You should have enough in this car. We're going to go past Sonoda, finally. Finally passing Sonoda, and we've managed to make that one stick. Now we're on the back of the two Astons, and I want to get the Astons clear as quick as we can. We've not managed to clear the Haas yet. Come on, buddy. Come on, don't tuck in. That's stupid. That was the worst place to tuck in, and you've done it so badly. Up the inside here. Come on, buddy. Keep it going. Keep it going. Keep it going. Push, push, push. Push, push. Yeah, we can do this. Are we up? Are we clear? Have we made that one stick? We've made that one stick. We're going to go through the castle section now, and hopefully we'll drop down to neutral just for now, so we're not burning through all of our ERS, but we do need to get these two Astons as fast as we can. Let's have a little look at Porsche making an absolute meal of passing Sonoda. He really, really did make that look harder than it needed to be. And the Haas's will eventually, towards the end of the race, they will get past the Astons, but they are absolutely doing themselves here. Meanwhile, onwards and upwards for Porsche, and Piastri still needs to have a little bit more of a look at Ocon and Vettel ahead of him. Vettel clearing Ocon, but not actually leaving him behind in any way, shape or form. This could be a battle that goes on for a while. Once we get past Vettel, we have to push on and try and prove that we can catch up to Gasly, Bottas and Russell. Tyres-wise, we're about equal with them, although obviously Piastri does not look after his tyres well, so that will always cause problems. Go into a fast-forward mode just to see what happens here. We'll go to Porsche, and hopefully something special will happen. Here we come on board, right in time. I don't know why the Xbox thinks I want to fast-forward anything, but there we go. We're going to keep going forward. Come on, guys. DRS is open. We should have enough here. I don't know how Aston could have made this many pace gains. They were 2 laps down at the end of Monaco, and now they're suddenly competitive. And I'm not quite sure how that's happened, just because the track is a bit faster. There's not that much more pace in the Merc engine, you would think, to be able to give them that. And there's certainly not that little pace in the Renault engine that we shouldn't be able to pass a far inferior car. I think maybe what we're going to do is have another lap of just harvesting. We're going to keep building ourselves back up. Hopefully we don't lose that position to Sonoda on this back straight. We should be okay to keep him behind us, you hope. You hope with the DRS open. If we can't, then we've got way more things to address. I think we've just about made that one work. We've stayed in touch. We're going to just let him have a harvest for a little while. Piastri is doing really nothing to advance himself either, which is disappointing. So we're just really trying to build up as much ERS as we can so I can have a real push and a real kind of look at the two Astons ahead of us. We need to get them clear, that's the trouble. I mean, there is of course if there is a safety car, we can stay a little bit longer. Porsche has now been passed by Sonoda. So we're going to have to go again. Right, let's go fast forward, see if we can get a pass done. How has he done that? Has it just been under DRS? It has been under DRS down that straight. Saw inevitable risk going on full harvest. And that's sort of cost us. It's only cost us for now, I feel like. It's only cost us for now. We've got the push there if we need it. We're going to keep going forward because hopefully Piastri is going to pull off some magic. Porsche will stay in touch with Sonoda. I have absolutely no doubt of that. Also, Sonoda will be pitting reasonably soon, so we should get an extra couple of laps over him. That should work out okay for now. Porsche, good to keep going, good to keep himself in that fight a little bit, as Albon and Ocon have both come in and freed up Piastri and Porsche. They're pitting very early, these soft runners. Very, very early. Probably earlier than they need to be honest. But Piastri, this gives him actual space around Vettel to be able to make an overtake. Vettel is on the medium tyres, so doing slightly better on the medium tyres. It's got to be said, but he's on the medium tyres. We do need to be able to get past him there, and past him quickly. Another close moment there, looking for the overtake before we get into the castle section. We're going to go through the castle now as we're on lap 14. And we need to really just be going for it at this point. There is no excuses left in the book. We've only got one Aston ahead of Sonoda now, and he's kind of still corking the bottle a little bit. I am going to give Porsche the overtake coming through this section. I do want him to make use of that. I think we'll probably give a little bit of overtake as best we can to Piastri, see if we can get him clear of Vettel. And once we're getting clear of Vettel, I think we'll be laughing. I don't want to use it up just yet, but if he uses it at the right time, just before we hit the DRS, he'll pass him back on neutral, and we're away and free and back to chase up to Gasly, which should be achievable. DRS should open any time now. Are we going to get there? We're going to go straight in for a look with Vettel's trying to close the narrowing gap. But Piastri not really using his ERS to help him. It's not the one. Is he going to use it through this section maybe? Push out of this corner. Have a go. Get himself back up close. DRS detection point's approximately there. Are we going to have a go at this corner? Get ourselves a good launch. DRS open. We're going for the push. Piastri going up into the points, and he has made it stick. We're going to go back into neutral. Let that one go. Porsche, in the meanwhile, has got himself up and past Sonoda, and he's going to go and pass Guan Yu Shou. And that should be all she wrote for those guys in terms of being behind us. We should be able to gap them quite nicely. Now we have managed to get past Porsche, now 6 seconds shy of Alonso, who in turn is 5.5 shy of Stroll. Those guys are going to have to work together to get back in this fight. Piastri, though, should be disappearing and catching up to Gasly at a fairly good speed. We're passing cars in the pit stops. That's always good. That's always a nice look. We've passed Norris. We're going to pass Perez. Perez should be gone. Perez should be gone by now. He's coming out right next to us on cold tyres, and we can see Lewis Hamilton. But all it takes is that one little safety car, and we're in good stead. So we're going to keep going for now and see what happens. And as I say that, Vettel and Ricciardo try and make a pass. Sorry, I have to grab a drink. I've been talking a lot. Vettel and Ricciardo managed to pass. I don't know how they've managed to pass because they should be on equal footing. Maybe they switched to new tyres? No. I have no explanation for that. Okay, so we're going to go again. We're going to have to go again. That's okay. We'll get ourselves back up into the points. Porsche is catching up the gap to Norris being in the gap has helped with the catching up, but it's fine. Next car up the road is Lando Norris for Porsche, and we are catching him. Ricciardo finally comes in for a pit stop. Piastri still on the back of Vettel. Vettel and Perez not exactly staying close in touch. We do need to get past this AlphaTauri and gone as fast as we can. That has to be said. But, you know, again, we are not in a hurry to get a pit stop done. So, still time, still potential. We'll go into double speed because you never know, he might make a pass while we're on board. Stranger things have happened. We're just trying to sort of make the best of this. And it could, like I said, could easily become a strategy race. It's very simple for someone to bid it into the wall. I do want to kind of keep ourselves on this medium as long as I possibly can. Certainly for Porsche, the longer I keep him on the medium, the more competitive he'll be, which is going to be vital for things as the race unfolds. As we go opening DRS now, we're going to get ourselves onto the back of Vettel and ready to make a pass. We'll certainly be on the back of him. We've opened our pit strategy for today, and we've not made that pass. We're going to try and get him on overtake mode into or out of turn 2, where hopefully we can get a good jump here. We're going to go through the DRS line. We're open. We're going for it. We're going for it now. Let's go. Push, push, push. Vettel has put his car very handily right in the middle of the track there. So no room to get around him, really. And we've been forced to kind of tuck in behind. So we'll go back to neutral and keep an eye on that. Porsche is able to really... We'll go deploy for Porsche, especially because Guan Yu Shou apparently feels a bit racy. Don't know why he feels racy. Apparently, you know, he hasn't got the message he's driving an Aston Martin. Come on, give it a push. Give it a push, Porsche. Get yourself away from him. We do not need that in our life. We just need to move away. Still staying close. That battle off board looks very, very good, I'm sure. If you're watching that at home, you're looking at a battle for the ages between a Williams and an Aston Martin moving their way up the field. But hopefully we'll be able to get Porsche up and away and broken clear of him pretty quickly by using that extra deployment. We should be able to break the toe and just start on our merry way without any more distractions of having to defend. Get ourselves free and clear up through the back straight will be ideal. Of course, we want to try and break that DRS before we get there. Otherwise, all this work is going to be for nothing. So, are we going to cross the timing line at a second above Guan Yu Shou? Not quite, but I'm not sure the game fully understands how timing lines work either. So, it could be a case of he's outside of it now. Is he going to get that? Let's go on board with Guan Yu Shou, because that way I'll be able to see if that rear wing opens at the rear wing activation point. It's not going to, I don't think. I think he's managed to avoid it. He has. No, we've managed to stay clear, and that's looking good. We'll get Porsche back on the neutrals now, and hopefully it will be all good to stay clear of that fight with Guan Yu Shou for a little while. Meanwhile, with Piastri, he's having a look at Vettel out of the second DRS zone. Is he going to make it stick this time? That would be nice if he could. Vettel will still be there. He'll still be there all the way through this as well. He's not going to pull out because that is not the Seb Vettel way. But finally, we have made it past and we can carry on our way. Good work there by Oscar Piastri, and I want to try and push up as much as I can to get away. So I'm going to go deploy. I'm going to use what's left of the battery just to try and get a gap to Vettel that we can sustain. That would be the ideal here, because if we can pull a second on Vettel, we will disappear quite handily as Porsche is maintaining his gap to Guan Yu Shou as well, and pulling up slowly on Alonso, which is quite nice. No ERS available, of course, but we've got to almost a second, so we tried. We did our best, and we failed miserably, but the lesson is never try. We're going to be okay. Well, let's go on board now and see what's happening here. Nothing too exciting. We are just dropping Guan Yu Shou. Piastri be a very close call with him and Vettel, but I do have a feeling Vettel might be about to come in, because a lot of cars who started on mediums are starting to come in. I feel like we're going to make up some positions on cars pitting. I think Verstappen's gone, I'll be honest. I'm not sure we're going to catch up with Max Verstappen, who is up pit exit. But we've managed to stay ahead of Vettel. We should have Verstappen in our sights as we come across the start-finish line into turn one. Was that a yellow flag I thought I just saw there? Maybe, could have been. I don't know. And Vettel's gone for another move up the inside. Why is he bugging us this badly? I don't know. I have no idea. He's got slightly better tyres. That's probably helping him a little bit. But even so, that's not helping me at all. So we're going to go Piastri on a bit of a push, I think, because he should be in this next lap. I think we'll stay off the push until we know we're bringing you in the next lap, because I am going to keep Porsche out a little bit longer in the hopes our safety car will appear. That's my plan. That's my long-term goal, is to try and keep us out long enough to see a safety car. Because if we see a safety car, we are laughing. Sainz, by the way, absolutely disappearing at the top. 16 seconds clear of George Russell. He hasn't pit yet, but he doesn't need to for a while. If we look at gap to leader, the next car that's pit is Leclerc, and he's still 16 seconds behind. So, you know, it's definitely looking like a Ferrari win today, which could be interesting for many, many reasons. Either way, let's go to Zoom Fast Forward, because Zoom Fast Forward is going to help us. And Sainz has come out behind Leclerc. This is the optimal lap for our strategy today. I am going to take the risk of bringing him in, I think, because I don't see a good reason not to. We'll burn some tyres this lap just to get him in, and hopefully build a little bit of a gap to the cars behind us and the cars that have pit around us as well. Vettel's coming. If we can overcut him by just one lap, we'll be laughing. Porsche has time to go another couple of laps. Wait for a safety car. We're going to ignore that instruction for now, because that is definitely not the one. We're going to try and just make this stick now. That's our plan. We're going to make this one stick, get ourselves some points. I do just want to hold on with Porsche for the inevitable incoming safety car. I know it's coming. We should all know it's coming by now. There's always a safety car in Baku. There's always an idiot that makes a mistake, and it's got to be coming. Let's go to the super fast camera, bring ourselves round to the pit stop, because I am, of course, still conscious of time. We're a really good pit stop here for Oscar Piastri. A really good pit stop would be very helpful here. It's about a 4-second lap, so if we don't get a safety car in this lap, I've got to bring Porsche in anyway. It's touch and go. In fact, it's a 3% lap, so we should be able to get 2 more laps out of Porsche on good tyres. It's going to be really, really tight though. Porsche has dropped a position down to Ricciardo. Piastri is back out in the fight though on his hards, and right behind Sebastian Vettel, right where we started things. That is sort of, it's no net loss, let's put it that way. We'll go standard though with the tyres for now, and we're just going to try and keep up with Vettel. Hope these hard tyres do their thing. In the meantime, on board with Théo Pourchaire, who is back at battle with Ricciardo for that last point. I don't know who around us needs to pit. I don't think anyone else needs to pit, so we're on the faster tyres. It is very much a case of getting lucky with a pit stop at this point for Teo Pourchaire. If we get lucky with a pit stop, we might be able to make something happen. I think we've got a little bit of a false sense of security with Piastri as well. Maybe I should have pitted a bit earlier. Maybe we've lost this one on the strategy game. I'm not quite sure. We're going to keep, though, hoping that Pourchaire holds his position. He's lost a position to Ocon. This should be our in lap, I think. I can't help feeling we've got to come in this lap. So we're going to set that one up now while we can and hope for the absolute best. And maybe there's going to be an opportunity to win it back later. Let's go on to full attack on these tyres. Let's go to full deploy on the car as well, just to get ourselves as much out of this in lap as we possibly can. Hopefully we'll get some overtaking. In fact, let's go just use it as an overtake button. That's always good because we can still get ourselves past Stroll. We're going to keep moving though, keep going, keep pushing, and get ourselves towards the end of this Grand Prix. It's not impossible that we can still get some points out of this, but it's going to be very, very tight towards the end. Already you can see that Ocon and Albon have been on these hards much, much longer than anyone else, and that could work to our advantage in the end. So we're coming up to the pit in. We're going to drop ourselves down to standard so we don't lose that for the rest of the race, or waste our tyres is what I'm trying to say, and we'll keep ourselves going as best we can. We shouldn't come out last here, you would hope, and I don't want us to end up behind the Haas's if we can. I mean, Sonoda has finally cleared Albon, which means we're moving slightly quicker. We've got a nice, clean, easy pit stop here today. That's all we're asking for. 2.7 is about exactly what I wanted in terms of pit speed. We have dropped behind the Astons, though, which is not the one. That is not the one at all, as Pourchaire rejoins the track, and he will need to be put onto neutral ERS for this last stint. And I think we're just kind of settling in to see what points we can get now, because it's going to be tight. It's going to be very, very tough. And who knows where this one will go. It does need a safety car. Sometime in the last 15 laps, a safety car will be really, really good for us here. Because if we can get a safety car about lap 36, I can get onto a set of softs and do some real damage. But as things stand, nothing special is happening. We're not building any gaps. We've managed to overtake Stroll. Pourchaire has overtaken Guan Yu Shou, which is good. Put himself between the Astons. Needs to get himself ahead of Albon in the Aston though. Stroll needs to stay behind us. We need to get on the back of Ocon and Vettel. This could go really either way at this point. It's going to be a big fight as Piastri is overtaking Vettel, and now Ocon in our sights. Vettel to our right. Over our shoulder, we're trying desperately to keep him there for sure. Let's have a look at Piastri's overtake on Vettel. That's going to be a DRS pass, nice, simple, straightforward, and we have just made that work going up through this corner. Although, of course, Vettel did come back at us. Now we just need to clear Ocon, and we're still a battle with Vettel, much less clearing Ocon. Let's see if we can make something happen here. We don't want to go around the outside, and Vettel's dive bombed us going into that corner. That is absolutely insane, and this battle could be going on till the end of the race unless something dramatic happens. We do have to just try and stay involved. We are down on fuel with Pourchaire, which is going to be a problem. He's going to lose a little bit of that extra pace, or maybe it will just cool his engine down, who knows. Either could happen for us. Let's see though, on board with Piastri. He's going to get DRS here, and he does need to make this work. It's kind of his last chance to make something happen. DRS open. He's trying to push up on Vettel and Ocon. Goes up the inside of Vettel, runs out of room. And we're going to have another go up through this DRS zone. Surely would think we'd have to. I want to be staying tucked in a little bit more than he is. But such is life. We've not managed to make that work. And this is a battle that could go on till the end of the race quite easily. We are entering what I would call the safety car window as well. I am having a look as well at that gap to Ocon. To Alonso, sorry. If that gap to Alonso builds, and I can sneak a cheeky soft tyre stint in there with Piastri, there could be some positions to be had. but it's going to be very. I don't want to end up behind Alonso, and I certainly don't want to take any risks with Pourchaire at this point, because Pourchaire would end up behind K-Mag, and I think that gap would be unassailable. We are looking for a safety car to get us some points in this race, I think is kind of the upshot of things here. So we're just going to keep on board with Piastri for now, have a little chase, look at this battle up close between Vettel and Ocon. Got our DRS open, we're in a straight line, and we're going to look outside. We're not going to look out for an overtake there, or in fact there, Piastri not feeling terribly racy today by the looks of things. So we'll go onto a balanced fuel mode and just kind of stay involved in this fight as best we can. There's nothing I can do in terms of ERS now. Nothing I can really do in terms of tyres, because I can give him a little bit of a push. But I'm not sure giving him a push is necessarily helpful. I think I want to get, actually I'm going to have to give a push at this stage just to get past Ocon. Otherwise we're losing the DRS to Vettel fairly quickly. And if we lose the DRS to Vettel, we're in trouble. Ocon, of course, won't get DRS, will be a sitting duck. Bit more of a push here. Can we make this work through these two DRS zones? That'll be helpful. Let's go for it here around the outside. DRS open, the push is on, and we are clear. And we need to be getting ourselves very quickly onto the rear wing of Vettel and letting him tow us away from Ocon, because it's very clear at this stage that Vettel does have the pace on Ocon. Does he have the pace to get himself back up to Ricciardo? Different question entirely. But for now, let's just build the gap and see what happens, because Pourchaire also overtaking Sonoda. Have a little look at that, because we didn't see it live. We have finally got back past the Haas, which has been difficult today, and we are way gone and clear, and it's not even a danger at that stage of him coming back at us. We just need to get a shake on, and we're trying. Talking of getting a shake on, it's having a look both ways at Vettel coming out of that corner, and now we're going into the fast section. DRS open. We have no ERS left to play with at all. We're just going to have to make absolutely everything we can out of the extra tyres we're burning and the DRS. And look at the inside. Brake late. Jobs are good. We are through and done. But of course, Vettel is going to come back at us here with the DRS. It's going to be a hell of a battle, but this is all pulling us away from Stroll, which is what's really important. Just keep pulling us away from Stroll. And if we keep getting the DRS off each other, we'll slowly catch up to Danny Rick. That's not an issue at all. Where are we on the tyre range, though? We're going to be okay for a lap or so, going a bit more aggressive. Pourchaire, of course, actually quite good with his tyres. I can go aggressive with him, and we should be able to stay above the curve for a little while and start making some inroads on Alonso. Everything coming up Millhouse for us right now. Piastri back in battle, though, on the back of Sebastian Vettel, and the pit stop window, or the safety car window, is starting to open. Got to think that some of those cars that are fighting for a podium may just have a think about coming in for a set of softs to the end. It's not impossible to get softs to the end, get yourself a nice fastest lap. In fact, there's no fastest lap point to fight for, which is why they're not doing it. We're just going to keep on this back and forth with Vettel. Not going to fight too hard. That's my plan. Just don't fight too hard, would be what we would be trying to do if we were in the car, and let them just swap positions, pull ourselves slowly back to Ricciardo, who's in the points, and at that stage we should be looking good. So if we can keep trading places under DRS, get ourselves back up to Ricciardo, get that fight underway, I think we could be in a strong position here. We're going to drop the standard tyre though, cool it off a little bit. Pourchaire has built a gap on Sonoda, which is nice to see. He's slowly closing the gap on Alonso. Also nice to see. So we are still in this, and we're going for the DRS. We're not going to make this one stick because we had to close the DRS a bit earlier. Well, maybe he's played a blinder here, and he's going to go for it in the second DRS zone. Really, really go for it in the second DRS zone. Around the outside, we're going to make that one stick. We have sort of. Are we still? We've gone. Okay. Up into 11th, and we very much need to get a wriggle on here with trying to get up to Danny Ricciardo. That's going to be what's key, pushing back up to Danny Rick, who is losing ground to Gasly, so it's not impossible we can get ourselves back in the mix here. Like I said, a safety car, I'll come in for soft, and we will very, very quickly start catching ourselves up to the points. Essentially, we'll get ourselves back in the points quite quickly if we get a safety car. But it's looking less and less likely we're actually going to see a safety car, and that does have me a little bit concerned. As we can see on the left-hand side, Vettel coming back at us under DRS. He's got the DRS. He's played that very cleverly, stayed just close enough to get it, but not got himself ahead. And Vettel takes the lead from us into 11th. And we're going to go into fast forward mode because I think we're just waiting out a safety car now. I think Porsche, while he is catching Alonso, he's not catching Alonso at what I would consider to be a pace. Let's have a look at Piastri's tyres. He's just below the curve. Okay, trying to slow it down whilst I did that. Piastri and Vettel still trading places, but they are catching slowly up to Danny Rick now. Are Danny Rick's tyres going off? Maybe Albon's had to come in for the pits. Danny Rick's tyres aren't going off, but Ocon has taken a gamble for a set of soft tyres. And there's been a crash, and this could be a safety car. And if it's not a safety car, am I still going to take a gamble and come in for some tyres? I think I might, I think I might. Let's have a little look at the crash before we make that call on whether or not we're coming in for these tyres. So it is an Alpine involved. That's why he's come in. Which Alpine is that? I think it was Ocon, maybe? Oh, that's gone badly. Really badly. Sonoda involved in that and Ocon. I think we're probably, the yellow flags aren't there for us. That's not helped. And Ocon is going to come back at us very, very fast unless he's got damage on that car. Do I take that risk? I think I have to. I think I have to take that risk of a pit stop. Although Piastri's our best shot. I'm going to drop. We're going to take a gamble with Porsche. That's my plan. We'll take a gamble with Porsche. Softs to the end. Really give him the push he needs to get himself there. And hopefully we'll see something special because Piastri is still in a battle. Porsche is too far from the points to be of a threat to anyone right now. So taking that gamble onto a set of softs, especially on this track, could be his only chance to get himself some points here. So we're going to go for it. Going to go on a set of softs. The last 10 laps. Yes, we'll lose a couple of places. Probably Guan Yu Zhou will lose a place. Ocon maybe will lose a place. Sonoda, we should be okay, I think. But we've got to take this risk now. We've got to take this risk. Ocon and Sonoda have both come into the pits, so we've not lost a position. Well, we've lost our position to Guan Yu Zhou, but we should be in a much better position across the last few laps. Alex Albon has just put up the fastest lap of the race, which is a phrase I don't think anyone has ever said before. So Piastri now is our leading light, but Porsche, look for him to catch up to Zhou very, very quickly. He's on better tyres. He's the leader of the soft tyre runners, and maybe can get himself very quickly onto past Zhou and onto Alonso. Maybe get himself up in to help us out with this fight. It's not impossible, and we can give him a little bit more fuel to play with to help with that. We're going to give Piastri a little bit more fuel to play with as well to help him to get himself up past Vettel through this DRS zone, because he is going to need the extra fuel. Go into double speed just to make that happen a bit faster. Porsche as well is going to start catching Zhou very quickly. He should be past Zhou within a lap or two, you would think, and well on his way to getting himself on the back of Alonso. As Piastri is still having a look under DRS, he's got the extra fuel now. We do need him to make this move happen quickly. Not made it happen on this lap. We're going to go through to 16 times speed. Porsche, we can see, is on the backhand passing or trying to pass Zhou into the castle. Would have been a huge mistake. Please don't do that, buddy. I need the car in one piece. But we should get past him fairly quickly. You would think. Let's go 2 times speed on board with this one. We're going to go round the outside here onto the main straight. We should be looking very, very good. We might even break DRS pretty quickly coming off the back of that. Let's go into balanced mode on the fuel, though. We don't want to waste too much fuel if we can help it. And just get ourselves going, gone. And we should be starting to lead Guan Yu Zhou behind quite happily there. Meanwhile, Piastri is still stuck behind Sebastian Vettel despite the extra fuel that we've given him. We're going to go back to balance for a little while. We're going to also go to harvest. Just sure we go through the castle section, just while we're there, just because we don't want to, don't want to brush things more than we have to. Can we go aggressive again on tyres? Sure, why not? Let's do that, and then we'll come back through and we'll go for a push here with Piastri on the fuel to balance out the fact we're saving our ERS. That hopefully should work as a nice kind of counterbalance. Maybe even will give us enough extra anything to get past it, because I do want to make sure we have enough ERS to get us a good look towards the end at Vettel. I'd like us to be ahead of him if we can, coming across the line for the final lap. That would be, of course, the ideal. And we are fastest lap for Théo Pourchaire. Beautiful stuff. He is already paying off the dividends with what he does, and we're going to be okay. Right, so as I was saying, we're going to go Piastri, try and just keep him saving fuel, saving ERS for another couple of laps, just to get himself there. We are still catching Danny Ricciardo. He is becoming much closer to us than he was at any stage before, and that gives me a little bit of a confidence boost to go into neutral. For now, we'll just try and stay in a good position behind Vettel for one more lap, and then once we have got within 3 seconds of Ricciardo, I am going to be gone. In fact, now we've passed him, we're going to deploy. We're going to be gone. We're going. We're done. See you later, Seb. Hasta luego. It was nice to see you all race, but now we're going after Danny, and we're going after Lando, and we're going after nothing, because there's no points here. I mean, we're not getting, no matter what I pull off here right now, there is no chance we're getting any points. I think it's important we're all very clear on that. There are no points to be had here. We're just trying to get ourselves a gap to Vettel and catch up to Ricciardo to give us a little bit of a battle for us to watch towards the end of the race, as Pourchaire has caught and passed Alonso. Stroll will be in sight next, and Stroll not a million miles away for a guy on soft tyres, it's got to be said. If we go attack here, we might even get a little bit closer, a little bit faster. So we'll keep an eye on Pourchaire racking up the laps as best he can. Piastri has almost burned us. Yellow flag in sector 2. VSC. Okay, VSC. I need to have a think here. If it goes full safety car, we're coming in. If it doesn't go full safety car, we're staying out. Because there is nothing to gain here. I don't know who had the crash. It was Sonoda had the crash. Let's see what Yuki has done to ruin his race. He's just lost the back end. I thought he was going to take out one of the leaders there. Almost got in the way of the leaders. To be honest, that should have been a full-on safety car unless he's kept the engine running. That should have been a full-on safety car, and it hasn't been a full-on safety car. So we're under VSC. That's fine. That will save some everything. In fact, talking of saving some everything, let's save some everything just until this VSC ends. We'll save some everything, because there's really no point us burning tyres unnecessarily, burning ERS unnecessarily. VSC will end shortly, of course, so we'll keep ourselves ready to pause as soon as that does. There's going to be a lap to go, or 2 laps to go when it comes back up, and you've got to imagine Sonoda's probably going to want to come in for some tyres. He's not going to want to come in for some tyres. He's still challenging Magnussen, despite the incident, but we are saving up the fuel. We're going to go racing one last lap, it looks like, outside of the VSC. Hopefully it'll end fairly soon, but can we cool our tyres down enough to have a little go here at Danny Ricciardo? I think we've probably got enough in the tank to make this work for us, as long as we play this one smart. As long as we play this one smart, we should have enough going for us to be able to get 1 lap shootout happening, or a 2-lap shootout happening, to get us back up to speed. VSC is ending soon. As soon as that goes green, we're going to be good. We're going to be good. We're going to be going. Ending. Come on. We're going to go green. We're going to go green. We've gone green. Okay, so that's it now. All out attack to the end. That's what we're going for. We're going to have to go neutral there because we've not really saved anything in terms of ERS. But in terms of attack mode, this is it, boys. This is the time to shine. We're going to go for it. We're going to go past Danny Rick and finish top 10 so we can have real world points, if not in-game points, from Piastri today. We're going to keep ourselves going. Let's just give this the big push we need. Are we going to get straight on the back of Danny Rick and past him? If we don't do it now, we'll have to do it down the main straight. And then we're going to have to try and find a way to push ourselves through. Pourchaire is in a DRS for Stroll, so he can get himself up into 13th here. Let's have a little look. He should make the pass quite quickly. In fact, he's probably got enough to be able to do a deploy and get himself clear. And on the back of Vettel, battles going on with Danny Rick, though. Danny Rick holding us off for now, but he can't hold us off forever. That's not going to happen, Danny. I promise you. Oh, we've had another look around the outside in a really tricky position. Probably compromised ourselves a little bit. I wouldn't have had a look there. I'd have pulled out and just followed him through, but such is life. And now Charles Leclerc has gone on to the last lap. It is going to be very, very touch and go here. We are overheating our tyres, and I don't care even in the slightest. Pourchaire is hand over fist taking time out of Vettel. If we can get an 11-12 here, I'd be okay with that. If we get a 10-12, I'd be even better with it. I'm not sure we're going to lap 10 seconds a lap faster than Sebastian Vettel with the best will in the world. I don't think that's going to happen, but, you know, stranger things have happened. Vettel could bin it. That's not impossible. We are, of course, helping Vettel along a little bit too, so that will play a part. As Pourchaire has run out of ERS now, so we'll just give him a neutral and hope he can do something with his car. As Piastri's having a look at Ricciardo, is he going to make it? Is he going to make this happen for him? He's not. We're going to have to use overtake mode here, because if we don't use overtake mode here, we're not going to get past Danny Rick. We're going to go overtake mode coming out of the turn 2 into the DRS zone. We need to get the DRS open. We need enough gap to open up. We can get past him. I'm very, very careful on where I use the ERS on this lap. We're going to bring it down to harvest now. We're going to completely hold off. We're going to neutral. Neutral is going to be a better place for us to be, and we're going to stay on the rear wing of Danny Rick. He has everything he can need to play with here. Pourchaire, meanwhile, just trying to get himself caught up to Sebastian and have a respectable finish, to be honest. We're going to keep fast forward a little bit, just because we're in the castle section now. Piastri still having a look. I've got a weird feeling we're going to lose 11th to Vettel here, rather than Pourchaire catching any of us. I think we're going to lose 11th place to Vettel. But, you know, we'll make everything of it we can. We are going to give him an overtake, even though there's no overtake to be used. And try and just push over the line this last few laps. Get ourselves going, why not? And keep Vettel behind now is the mission. That's all we're hoping for. Keep Vettel behind. Ricciardo is the last man that's not finished, so 10th is the last place up for grabs. Can we get it over the line here? DRS needs to open, and we need to be on it immediately. DRS is open. We're going for it. We need to keep Vettel behind. Ricciardo's put his car in the right place. We're not taking any risks, therefore. We've taken the checkered flag. Pourchaire will also cross the line with the fastest lap of the race. Just 7 seconds shy of Sebastian Vettel. Not the best race I've ever had, it's got to be said. I think we probably could have had a much better one there if we'd been a little bit less willing to take the engine penalties. Points lost rather than anything gained here, I think, is the headline. But good performance from the Astons today to finish 16th and 17th. They've definitely brought something big to their car to get themselves back into this fight. The Haases are this week's big losers, and we're just kind of coasting ourselves into the final things. We're not going to bother watching what's gone on. The team are happy, and that's what bothers me. The team are happy with that as a result, and I only became happy with that as a potential result towards the end. Piastri finishing just 0.097 of a second behind Danny Ricciardo in the end. Again, wouldn't have mattered. There were no points on offer. Let's see if any movement in the drivers' standings. George Russell picks up 2 points to go ahead of Pierre Gasly, who only picks up 1. Valtteri Bottas has moved up to 12, picking up points over Lando Norris and Kevin Magnussen. And in the constructors, Ferrari pick up the full 18 points, Red Bull pick up 11, Mercedes pick up 6 to give them a 20-point gap to us, and Alfa Romeo have closed their gap to us to 5 points. So it's a bit competitive now. It's looking a bit dangerous. We should, though, have some development points for our drivers, which will help us out immensely. That's kind of what we've been looking for. So, development points for everyone except David Schumacher. We've made some money, which makes me happy because we do like the money to be coming in. And now we just have to have a little look, see what's coming up next in terms of time. I think we go to Canada next. Off the top of my head, is it Canada after Baku? I have a weird feeling it is, but it will tell me in a second. It is going to be Canada, yes. I can see a Canadian flag in the background. Cool. Let's get those little driver points though. Let's get them totted up onto the car. So, Piastri, I feel like I want to work on his overtaking. I think that's going to be his next weakness to tackle. Porsche. I feel like with Porsche, I want to. Let's go overtaking with Porsche as well, because we've got a car that should be faster than everything around us, and somehow we're still suffering. And we're going to go on braking with Schumacher, just because we have to use the point for something. Development point for Roberta Pellegrini, our head of aero, will give her high-speed downforce, because that's the thing we use, and nothing else there to be used. We've got $1.5 million in the bank, which is going to help us out a little bit. We're exceeding our expectations. Rear wings and chassis are manufactured. Although actually after that race weekend, now I'm thinking about it, I do need to be making some front wings because we used a lot. In fact, we've survived with some for the road. Good. Okay, what else? Chassis. Let's build some more chassis because otherwise we'll be in trouble. We've got 4 days till the next Grand Prix. So I guess we're going to have to rush that and hope for a miracle that we don't actually use any in this race. I will go for 2. If I have to emergency build one, I'll emergency build one. That'll be fine. What else do we need to have built before the next race? We would have suspension, probably a thing I could do with more of. That's a 7-day build. We'll rush that and we'll go 4 of them. Hopefully, because that 4 days is practice, so by qualifying we'll get a new suspension should we need one. For that, we'll be okay. Right, so with that, I'm going to wrap this episode up because I know we are at the hour mark and that's not ideal. So, until next time, guys, thanks for watching. We'll be back for the circuit Gilles Villeneuve in the next episode, hopefully for some good points. And until next time, I've been Chasing Lamely. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you all very soon. Have a good one.